Hello guys, let's draw this explosion animation today. This is my third animation inspired by the Arcane series. Let's go. From the templates, I choose square. Frames per second to 12, duration to 3. Press draw. I already have a pre-prepared palette that I will use. First, we need to set the background color. I fill the first frame, but I like to use the color setting via click on the timer. So I try to manually adjust the color on the circle. Okay, something like this. So I delete the first frame. Let's move on. We need to draw the first part. This is the beginning of 3 lines that will gather in the center, where the explosion will begin. I start drawing small stripes and gradually move them towards the center. In the process, these stripes can be broken up and drawn unevenly. To make it easier to draw, you can click on the timer and set up the onion skin. Okay, let's look at the first preview. Great, let's move on. Now we draw a random shape like this in the center. In the next frame, we enlarge it a little. The shape is very rough, without any detailed elaboration. Let's look at the preview. Well, in the next frame, we enlarge the shape quite a lot right away. It will consist of ovals like these. We make it uneven, so that there is a different number and different size of these ovals on different sides. Next frame. We enlarge our shape. The ovals become more round, and we also increase the number of these ovals. Great. Then we continue to enlarge the shape along the previous contour. Let's look at the preview. Okay, let's continue. In the next frame, we enlarge the shape and a gap appears in the center. We draw something like this. Next frame. We enlarge the shape, it is almost invisible, and we also enlarge the central part. Next frame. Here the outer outline is already off screen and almost right up to the borders. We draw an enlarged central part. Let's see what we get. It looks good, although a little unclear because there is no fill. Let's move on. Here we need to slow down the speed to dissipate the smoke. To do this, we turn the outline inside out and continue on the next frame. Next, very smoothly increase the size of the remaining parts to get the effect of dispersion. Let's see what we get. Super! Next, I want to add flying particles that will move in different directions. Also, gradually reduce them on each frame. Let's look at the preview. Well, the first stage is finished. Let's move on to creating shadows. On the frame where our figure was enlarged, I draw this shape in a darker color. Okay, let's group all the frames on the first track for convenience and apply opacity. Okay, let's go back to drawing the shadows. On the following frames, I start randomly placing pieces of shadow on the borders of the supposed circles. That is, I leave the central part of the circle filled with the main color and draw such contours with filled cavities to create the effect of volume. Next frame, let's adjust the onion skin a little. So here we continue to draw the shadow areas based on the previous frame. Here the shadows become a little less because the light areas come to the foreground. Next frame, we continue, the shadows become even less, but we also look at the previous frame so that the shape matches. And here's the next frame. We continue drawing shadows. Let's see how it looks in the preview, and turn the transparency back on. It's still a bit hard to perceive without a fill, but overall, everything is going according to plan. So let's move on to the fill stage. So, in order to fill, we simply drag the color to the area we need. To control the fill area, you can move the pencil to the right or left while transferring the color. Okay, let's speed up a little here. And we'll also fill the shadows. Well, let's look at the preview. What have we got? It looks great, and now the next stage awaits us, drawing the glowing parts. Let's choose a brush called Light Pen, and then on the new track, we begin to draw glowing particles in bright yellow. First, we draw on the lines. And then we add where we have a small shape drawn. Okay, then we will add these glowing areas to the center of the shadow, but not everywhere. We place them randomly. On the first frames, we draw a little more areas. And we can also draw a few particles that fly out of the cloud. On the next frame, the particles fly to the sides. There are already fewer areas. Next frame. Here we continue in the same spirit. And then we are also guided by the same rules. We draw small, bright areas. At the end, there are already quite a few of them. Preview. Great. So, the next step is drawing lightning. Let's create a new track and go to Flipbook. Go to the frame where the beginning of the explosion is formed and draw broken lines with the same brush. Where we already have an enlarged shape, we draw a lightning line that randomly flies out from one corner to another. On the next frame, we draw lightning approximately in the same place, but with a different shape. And add additional lines on the sides. Add a few more lines on the following frames in random order. Let's see what we got. It looks cool, I like it. In the background, I finished clean up the contours, drawing everything more clearly and evenly. And this is the animation I got. How did you like today's lesson? Did you like the animation? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next videos.